You ever been in that situation where you're trying to get someone into a fighting game and it's just not working? You're playing characters you don't play, you're going easy on them, you're trying to help them get the ropes of the game, and it's just not clicking. Something about it just isn't working, and they're not having a good time. And if they're not having a good time, you're probably not having a good time either, unless you're one of those kind of players. And eventually, they bounce off the game and swear off of fighting games entirely. It's a complaint that the genre has had so much that people have even made skits about it that don't play fighting games. The genre as a whole has been given this type of unapproachable aura. It's begun to slowly shift over the past couple of years. Very big players in our scenes have been trying to make it so that people understand fighting games more and see the fun and casual side of the genre. But that doesn't mean that there's an easy way to get into any of these games. Fighting games are super competitive by their nature. It's you and one other person with a probably pretty limited moveset, and one of you is going to win and the other one is going to lose. Getting invested and getting competitive is kind of the point of fighting games. How do you get to the point where you want to get good? Well, let's talk about appealing to casuals. Everyone who has ever done anything, ever, has started with a casual interest for said thing. Any hobby that you or anyone has ever gotten really invested in had them at some point be the new person. The person who's never tried it in their life. The person who just wants to dip their toe in to see how it goes. And some way or another, it has pulled them under. Maybe it's by their own volition, maybe it's by malicious practices, maybe it's just something that really clicks with them. Whatever it is, something has got their hooks into that person and has gotten them to be more invested in it. Fighting games do this to people some of the time. As someone who's spent like 5 years playing the exact same game, I definitely know the feeling of wanting to get better at this game, and I've seen the limits that people will go to in order to compete in this. The hooks that some of these fighting games have in people are extremely embedded, but some people get completely bounced off of it. It's not that you need to be made of sterner stuff to get into fighting games, don't get me wrong, but for people who are actually just there to really dip their toes in, there's not a lot of stuff for you to do. If you, by chance, aren't that interested in playing online multiplayer, what do you do? Most fighting games have some kind of arcade mode and a survival mode. Some of them will have a story mode, and there's training. And if you really like the game but really hate online, I guess you could try finding a local scene. But where the fuck would you start? You probably don't even realize that there are people who meet up in real life to play these games with each other outside of big events. So why would you think to look? That'd be stupid. Maybe you play the arcade mode, a bit of the survival mode. Maybe you even boot up training mode. But if you're just not that interested in playing online and grinding the ranks, there's no real way for the game to get its hook into you. And thus a casual player will remain casual. Of course, this is the argument where people say their friends come along and try to help them out. But I would like to refer you to the first point of the video. There's no way for people who want to kind of get into these games to get into them in an extremely safe environment. There's a level of being willing to get your ass handed to you for the first couple of hours that basically everyone braces people with when it comes to this kind of thing. You want to get into this fighting game, you're probably going to have to be okay with losing. And that's true. That's how the genre functions. But it doesn't mean that it doesn't suck, especially when there's so much to learn. So what would the answer be to this? Well, a casual mode. Fighting games have already started to broach this topic. Street Fighter 6 has an entire world tour mode that is extremely fleshed out and tries to teach you the basics of how to do fighting game inputs, something that has plagued the genre for a little while now. But there could be more that could be done. How do I know there could be more? Because I've experienced the thing I'm talking about in a completely different genre. Okay. It's finally time to talk about Deadlock. If you don't know, several months ago, I did an event on my Twitch stream. I had chat vote between Uma Musume and Deadlock, since several people have asked me to play both of the games. And the result was that both games won. They tied, and I said if there was a tie that I'd play both. It was really stupid of me. And while the Uma stream was definitely a success and made me realize why people like the game, the Deadlock stream very much was not that. Deadlock is a ridiculously complicated game. Like, absurdly complicated. Being a MOBA, it's already got a lot of things going on, but on top of that, it is a third-person shooter with movement tech and about 20 separate objectives that you kind of need to focus on at all times. There's 3 lanes. All those lanes need to be pushed up to some different kind of boss. Every side gets a bunch of jungle soldiers on the map. 3 different tiers that all enemies more damage. The way that jungle don't forget Sinner Sacrifice. It comes up and comes up the areas of the map that only some characters can get to, but if you shoot them, they can't get into it. It's a lot. It's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff going on. And you still have to shoot people. Because of this, I didn't really get the game. I went in, I played, I had people in my chat be mean to me because I didn't understand what the cultist sacrifice item did, because I didn't have the chance to read it, because we were getting shoved in, said, fuck it, I'm done, and I didn't touch the game. And then, a couple of weeks ago, there was a new update added to the game. The Old God New Blood update. This came with 6 new characters that are being released over the course of now, as well as a bunch of changes to the map, and a new game mode. Street Brawl is a 4v4 game mode in which you are sent to one of the lanes on the map, and the objective is simply to destroy the enemy tower. Builds are made by a random selection of different tiered items in the game that you are able to choose at the start of a round. There is no farming, there is no side objectives. The only thing that happens is that you team fight and you shove the wave. And this is where I remember that Valve's the GOAT. By making a casual game mode that focuses on 4v4 combat, you are essentially put into a little safe environment where you're able to learn the bare bones basics. Because you're given a selection of different items, you're able to actually sit and read what they do. You're able to get familiar with what they are, and you're able to understand how they interact with your character and what should probably be built on them. Since you don't have to focus on farming, you can focus more on how your gun shoots, how you attack the enemy, how you move. And because it's constant team fighting, there's no real downtime. There's no time for you to sit there and think, I wonder what I should be doing right now. Because there's a very clear and simple objective right in front of your face. Go fight! Do it! There's nothing else to do! Street Brawl took the bits of the game that confused the shit out of me and got rid of them and created a simple, basic game mode for me to learn what I wanted to learn about my characters. And I loved it. When Street Brawl came out, I gave it a little bit of a shot because I said that it was the kind of game mode that I would want to play, and I really did like it. It's super fun. It's super good. But the kicker is, it made me think more. There were a bunch of items that I would get in Street Brawl that I really liked, but I wouldn't get them every single match. And I would go, you know what would be cool? If I could play a game mode where I can get this item every time, and then just play the game. So that's how Deadlock got its hooks into me. I'm not good, I'm like this rank, but I'm having fun. I'm enjoying it, and that's all that matters. Okay, so quick update. They did a rank reshuffle. I'm here now. Your boy's going up in the world. Deadlock is known as one of the more complicated MOBAs out there because of all the weird shit in it, but because I was able to learn the basics in a super safe and fun environment, I've now learned more about the game, and I can understand when my teammates are rage baiting me. And because I've had this experience, I want more of them. Valve made a mode that simplifies one of their more complicated games and makes you interested to play more of it. It's like they didn't even try. It's so amazingly designed, and it feels seamless. And I wish that fighting games tried to find a way to do this. Don't get me wrong. The World Tour mode is decent, but it doesn't leave a lasting impact on the player. I know a lot of people who got into the World Tour mode and then didn't really want to keep going, and it wasn't the greatest. But that doesn't mean it's the only thing that's trying. There's a bunch of other fighting games out there that are trying similar things to this. People bring up Yomi Hustle a bunch, and I really like that game because it manages to strip back all of the technical aspects of a fighting game and immediately lets you go to the mind game part. This is literally turn-based, there's no real execution requirement. Yes, there's still tech you can do, and there's still definitely things you need to think about, but it's all thought and pre-planned. It's all the guessing games that I personally love in fighting games. And since it helps you get to that thinking bit faster, if you go and play something else, you might be more familiar with that decision-making process, so you can do it a little bit faster. There's also a game coming out called like Polyfighter, and I don't exactly know what it is, but apparently it's like a roguelike fighting game, and it looks awesome. It looks really cool from the early alpha footage I've seen, but despite getting into the playtest, I haven't been able to play it, because when I went in, Valve didn't notify me when I got accepted for the playtest, and I missed it. And I'm really upset, because I really wanted to play that game. Could you imagine it was the Kickstone for the end of this video? It'd been so good. I'm glad that developers are kind of trying this, but I really want to see a bigger improvement from someone in the fighting game scene. Casual modes have always been fun in fighting games, but they could definitely go so much further. And I can't wait to see what genius idea someone comes up with in the future. Fighting game devs have tried to appeal to the casuals by doing things that make the competitive crowd not happy. And instead of that, I think that they should find a way to appeal to the casual crowd and make them the competitive players. We'll have to see what happens in the future, but I'm very excited to see what any of the developers end up pulling out.